Hey, well, this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless, God bless. Thanks for tuning in. God bless. And those who are tuning in for the first time, I thank you so much. And for those who've been consistently supporting me, I thank you as well. Thank you as well. But today, yesterday, or July the 21st of July, I found out about the Gillie the kid's son getting killed on the streets in Philly. And I made a video on it. A video on it showing my condolences to him and also showing my RIP to my respects to his son that passed away. And then as I looked on YouTube, that later on that night, on July the 21st, I noticed that a lot of YouTubers, content creators were making videos on blood sacrifice, that his son was killed through a blood sacrifice. Now I did see that Gillie the Kid and Wallow, the two podcasters, they signed months before his son got killed on the streets. He signed $100 million deal for his podcast show. $100 million deal, and the mayor of Philadelphia, where they're from, actually gave them the key to the city. Seeing that, man, I respect that, but then I found out, I did some more deep in, I did some more research, and I found that was months before. It was months before he signed that deal, before his son got killed. And it just, I don't know how he got that deal. It's a big deal. It's a big, huge amount of money for a podcast. And I was pondering, I don't know whatever you think was a blood sacrifice or sacrifice for that blood sacrifice for him to sign that huge deal. In other words, a blood sacrifice meaning, ladies and gentlemen, that you have to do things you don't want to do in order to get the great deal. You have to do things, you have to come out of character and do things. In other words, you have to sell your soul to the devil. You got to sell your soul. Things that you don't want to do, you got to do in order for you to get to the highest plateau, in order for you to get to the highest deal. You got to do things that's out of character that you don't want to do. That's what they mean by blood sacrifice. You have to do things that you don't want to do. You have to sell your soul to the devil. Well, but as I listened to some podcasters, they were saying that his son was a sacrifice. In other words, because Gillie the Kid signed that contract for $100 million for his podcast, it was more like, well, his son had to in other words, his son had to lose his life. Something had to be sacrificed. Either his son or somebody close to him had to be sacrificed. So they were saying his son had to be sacrificed. And it just bothered me that this man just lost his son. Man just lost his son. And instead of them giving him condolences, showing him condolences, saying it's hard to lose a son, they were saying that he sacrificed his son for the $100,000 deal. And that bothered me. That really bothered me because I believe maybe they will come later, maybe it'll show up later, but I believe you should show mercy. I believe that God shows all of us mercy. God shows you should be, especially as people, human beings, black people of course, but as human beings, we should always comfort and embrace a brother. For losing, it's not easy losing a child. It's not easy losing a child. It's not easy losing someone that you love, someone that you're so close and dear to you. Now I heard a podcast that said that if he had all this huge amount of money and huge deal, how come he didn't send his son to a safe place? That's a solid point, because with a deal like that, yeah, you want to live in a comfort, most richest place in West Philly, what part of the roughest part of Philly, or you wouldn't want to be, especially when you're getting this, when you they know that you're getting a huge deal like that. You wouldn't want to be. No, you wouldn't want to be. But I just disagree with the slander, especially if it's not extremely true. If it's not true and it's not content, it's not hard concrete evidence that is true, you should not slander the man. He just lost a child, and now you're saying that his child, he sacrificed his child in order to get that $100,000 deal. Crazy. And man, they came down on Gillie. They killed like a ton of bricks. They came down on him like a ton of bricks, and I just, wow. No matter what she's going through right now, but a lot of podcasters are saying that he's not feeling anything. He's just happy that he got that $100,000 deal. Wow. Well, what kind of father would be so extremely happy to lose his child? Now that he has that $100,000 deal, he won't be able to leave an inheritance for his son. His son is dead. His 25-year-old son, Young Cheese, is dead. He will not be able to leave an inheritance for him, because and his son won't be able to carry on the legacy because his son is dead. His oldest son, I believe that's his oldest son, is dead. So, but I feel that it was just crazy that I'm just on YouTube late last night, and I seen a whole lot of slander, a whole lot of put down on Gillie the Kid, a whole lot of beat down on this brother, man. A whole lot of beat down. And God wants us to show mercy. God wants us to be kind to one another, especially as us black people. We always putting each other down. We always bringing each other down. We always stomping on each other. And there's always this competition of beating each other down. I understand that, people. I understand. Listen, don't get me wrong. I understand the whole blood sacrifice ordeal. I understand the whole selling your soul to the devil. I get it. I understand all that. I get it. But I don't think you should, at this moment, at this time, you should beat this brother down, because well, his son, yes, he signed $100,000, $100 million deal. Excuse me, $100 million deal, and you're connecting that to a son being slain on the streets. It's just dirty. It's nasty, and it's not right. It's not right to be, especially with a time of loss, time of sorrow, time of hurt. This man is probably going through a time of hurt. You only see him signing that $100 deal. When he signed the $100 million deal, that was months ago. That was months ago. It wasn't right away as soon as his son died. It was months ago. But a lot of podcasters are saying that was a sacrifice he made for his son. If you're gonna sign $100,000 deal, somebody is a blood sacrifice, and somebody has to be sacrificed. Somebody has to die in your family, or somebody close to you has to die. The same thing they're saying about Takeoff, and they say, well, listen, the industry is evil. I get it. The industry is evil. The industry is an industry that I don't know 100% about, because the thing is this. The industry has ways of doing dirty stuff. And these 360 deals with these rap artists, they have ways of just covering up things, and ways of just, and the media has ways of painting pictures a different way. Um, it reminded me of a lot of things, like he was staying on the street, um, and Takeoff was killed, murdered, and then they say, things, and they're saying a blood sacrifice as well. Well, it's like this. You can't Especially this is a sensitive moment because the man just lost his son. Sensitive moment. And I feel that especially as brothers, we should not like ridicule, slander a brother because he signed $100 million deal. You should not slander. We just I don't listen. Maybe it was he sell his soul out to the devil. Maybe it was he believed in the rituals and sold himself out to the devil. Okay, but at the moment, at the time, his son just died. Young Cheese was an up and coming, inspiring rapper. He wanted to be like his father, and maybe Young Cheese was, and there's a lot of death in the music. I admit that a lot of death in the music. Is that hip hop is not the same anymore. Since this hip hop was sold to the devil, it hasn't been the same. Hip hop hasn't been the same, and there's been a lot of blood sacrifices, a lot of bloodshed, a lot of people sacrificing their life or they're getting on and signing contracts, 360 contracts, because they want to get on and sacrificing themselves and selling their souls to the devil on a dotted line because they want to get on. But in this moment, in this time, when it comes to losing a child and talking about a man sacrificing his child to be a sacrifice because he signed $100 million contract, I just didn't think that. I think it was distasteful. I think it was wrong. And I think it was just not good. It's just not good to say that. The man just lost a child. How would you feel if you lost a child and I guess you're popular or you're a famous YouTuber or you're on YouTube and you're getting a lot of clicks, you're getting a lot of likes, get 1 million, 2 trillion clicks, 100 million likes and clicks. And all of a sudden somebody, because you lost a child, somebody's saying that you signed a deal with the devil and your son was a sacrifice. How would you feel about that? I don't think you feel good about that. So in the same energy, let's give Gillie the Kid. Let's just give him a condolences, a shout out and condolences. Also, give him a RIP to his son, Young Cheese. Young Cheese. So sad. Now the live word of the day is coming out of James chapter 2, verses 13. For judgment without mercy, judgment without mercy to one who has shown no mercy. Mercy triumphs over judgment. So we shouldn't judge him and connect his sacrifice and signed $100 million deal and say that because he signed $100 million deal, his son was a sacrifice. I think it was degraded. I think it was distasteful, and I think it was wrong to even connect the two together. That's my opinion. It's slander. It's not solid concrete proof. It's just slander. And just as soon as he put on the display that he said $100 million deal, and he got the keys to the city, everybody went after him, and I think that was wrong. Everybody went after him the evil way, wrong way, slandering, saying that his son was a blood sacrifice for him signing $100 million deal. Listen, like I said before, I understand the blood sacrifice stuff. I get it, understand it. A lot of people sell their souls to a lot of artists, a lot of industry cats sell their soul to the devil. It's true, I believe that. But I don't know, I don't think it's a good time to just slander the man. He just lost his son. But this is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless, and let's be safe out there and show some mercy to somebody that's just lost somebody, that's lost a loved one. Let's be kind. Let's think about what if we was in their shoes? How would you feel? What would you think? How if somebody was slandering your name and slandering, saying that you signed a contract, and all because you signed a big, huge contract, your son was a sacrifice. How would you feel? Leave a comment, let me know. God bless. This is Zacchaeus with another live word of the day. God bless. Let's be safe out there. Peace and blessings, y'all. Thank you for tuning in.